Hello, you're welcome on the Conversation Show with myself, Adeoye Benjamin, on Ladies in Check. Today we'll be talking about an extensive topic, gender equity and equality, why it matters. So many people support, advocate for gender equality, but not so many understand how important gender equity is to achieve it. Joining me on the show today is amazing people. I'll start from the lady first. Her name is Haja Nasir Tukur, and the medical student, social media manager, and marketer. And to the left hand, I have a friend of mine. His name is Adegoke Solomon Clinton. He's known for Clinton Royal Media, and there is a scriptwriter, actor, a compare, and a general practitioner of media. The subject for topic for discussion on the show today is something has been a prime conversational topic quite on social media and the face of the world at large. Gender equity and equality, why it matters. So I will start from Hajar. So can you just basically establish what is gender equality and what is gender equity?
Well, gender equality is being able to provide equal opportunities for both men and women. Reason being is because for decades, centuries even, women have been kind of undermined, and being able to provide them with the same opportunities as men is what equality is. However, with equity is being able to provide them not the opportunity but the fairness. Because of the years that there is just undermined women, they're behind. And equity is to be able to give them the opportunity to be on the level field with men so that we could progress and then work from there. So I feel like we have to tackle equity first before we get to equality.
All right, so from your definition, in your own opinion now, so you believe before we can even talk about equity, we need to establish equality first, if I'm right?
Equality first, then equity.
Then equity,
we have to establish that, the fairness, bring women up to the same level ground before we talk about giving them the same
So which is fairness?
Pardon?
Which of it is
fairness? Which one is fairness?
Yeah.
Equity.
Equity.
Which one is opportunity? Equality.
All right.
Because let's say, for example, you're running, let's say with your niece. You have a niece and you're like, we're gonna race from here to the tree over there, right? It's either you're going to lower your pace or you're gonna let her get a go ahead because you guys are not the same level. You have way more experience than her and she's just getting started. So saying that you guys should run to the same field, of course you're gonna win. You've had so many years of experience running and she's just getting started.
I will actually roll in hope there, like I know you're really ready for this conversation. Mm-hmm. Okay, I would like to ask Mr. Clinton, so what's your take on that? What's your own opinion about equality and equity?
Thanks, Ben, for having me. And I'm not about to change what equity and equality represents as it concerns gender, but like she rightly defined, I would love to establish the root meaning of the word. The fact that they sound like homophones do not make them mean the same thing, right? Equality as a word, evolves from, it is a mathematical term actually that involves from equation, having quantities on this side amount to the same measure to quantities on this side. So then when you come to equity, is basically treating parties involved fairly. It's a root word that is a judicial it's a judicial legal term, like serving justice equally and fairly. Like she rightly defined, equity will not change from what it is, and as the same, equality will not change from what it is. Equality is basically just treating individuals with same opportunity, same rights and same values regardless of their sex.
Okay, so if I understand the introduction part from Hajar and you, Clinton, it means equity is or fairness, while equality is sameness.
Equality is sameness. These people should be treated as
the
same. Why
equity
is they should be treated fairly, which is fairness. That's the simplest way to dilute equity as a word and equality as a word.
All right. Over time, I've seen many platforms, different campaigners advocate for gender equality, and let's actually talk about or actually represent equity at the mainstream or in the mainstream. So I would like to know, why is gender inequality an issue? I'll start from you, Clinton. Why is it an issue?
Right. First of all, I'm African proudly, so I will localize this conversation to Africa.
I like that.
That's where I'm coming from. I don't know how the Europeans and the Americans, their history to their human existence, but I know well about Africa, right? And over time, the way we're raised and cultured already stratified this in our minds. Growing up, there are certain traditions and norms that already validate the male child for certain roles, responsibilities, duties, rights over the female child. In some cultures and belief system, in some African or place of origin, there are certain beliefs that hold a woman not being able to do certain things, and a man, being able to do certain things, right? Ordinarily, leaving the composition of a woman as a complex entity and the man as that of a simple entity, but our norms, our traditions have imbued that in our system, that the man or the male gender are way more superior to the female gender. These are cultural beliefs that are not valid to 100% in our current generation. So for us to start undoing some of this belief system, it has to be traced back to the root, right? Till date, there are traditions in Africa that still holds and limit women to certain roles and responsibility, even in society. So because we're growing with these norms, it comes into the socio-economical space, even in the workspace. Some works are reserved for men, some works are reserved for women, which is not too proper.
So the norms you're talking about elevate men over women.
Yeah, in some, African tradition. I can only speak well about
Okay, let's be practical about it, please. Please, can I have your hand, please? Is this what you're talking about? Probably, this is a man, this is a woman. Superior, inferior. Or you're talking about this, a little bit bent. Or fully, in Africa, men are objectified this way. They are being superior, while women are inferior. Or it's just like not too equal, but a little bit bent. I need you to be really specific about that.
Okay, if I understand you correctly.
Yeah.
From a human creation, coming from the angle of spirituality, how man evolved, right?
Okay.
God made, in fact, there is no gender race of a woman gender race or man gender race. There's only human race. That already makes us equal. But when you come home to traditions, customs and norm, a certain place will tell you as a woman, okay, let me even tell you, centuries ago in Africa, when you have a boy child and a girl child, the girl child is meant to stay at home and do some domestic job, while the man is expected to go out there, explore, get educated, because he can fight and
go to the farm and go and just till the ground.
In the society and compete with other farmers and other educated folks, while the woman is limited to the domestic, which is so wrong.
I will actually hold you there. I just really ready. So why is inequality an issue? Gender inequality an issue?
So like he brought on, spirituality is not the issue here. Spirituality has made us all equal. Our everything, our deeds, everything come up the same. It's culture that is the problem. As he mentioned, I guess with your little hand thing, men are in somewhat majority of the time superior, because he said women are limited. And that's the whole problem with it, that the women are limited and not given a choice. The whole point of gender equality and why it is an issue is because most women do not have the choice. They don't even have the privilege of a choice. So when he's coming from an African point of view, I'm also coming from an African point of view, but I've also lived majority of my life outside of Africa. So what I can tell you is that I'm going blank.
No, it's okay. Say. The good thing is, you are trying to establish you living in different territory, living in different region, and how the exposure helped you see things from different angle. Exactly. You being an African lady in Africa is different from the
I grew up as an African in Saudi Arabia, but I also grew up around a lot of Americans. So what we think as Africans, in the American community, they see each other as equal. Yeah. But unfortunately, it's not like that either. there's the equality is different among different cultures. It's of different degrees. Maybe it might be a bigger degree in Africa.
So how are you just limited now? Like so, the equality now we actually talking about gender-wise is on a scale you are limiting it to culture-based. Like culture determines how the equality is spread around. So meaning like everyone gets a shoe, and not everyone gets shoe that fits.
Exactly.
All right, I think I get that. All right, I will.
So with your hand twisting thing,
Okay.
it's more like the culture, the norms, the tradition have, bent the woman to be limited and less superior.
Is this
And
culture only in African as a territory, or it's a global thing?
Definitely a global thing.
It's a global
The reason why it's all over social media is because it's a global thing. Women all over the world feel like they do not have the choice.
And it's culture-based. The inequality.
over time.
I mean, we see it in workplaces as well, but in order to see it in workplaces, it has to be people that bring it from their culture. Ultimately, it comes based on how you grow up and how you are raised.
All right. Before we actually we go into the empirical part of this conversation, I would like us to establish, of course, definitely, the diversity when it comes to gender apprehension is a thing of concern, and we should talk about it. So, what is your take on the importance, the benefit from gender equality and equity? Because I believe there's a misplaced poverty going out there. I'm not trying to attack any personality, but I'm a feminist too, really? It's quite amazing, right? You're surprised. Yes, I am. But we've seen an extremist that hide under the umbrella of being a feminist actually still didn't understand the relevancy of the equity. Just talk about advocating for equality because they believe like, okay, my husband can't just say this to me, or my friend or a man, we need to have access to benefit or access to the same resources institutionally, social economic policies and the likes. But here is what I would like us to converse about. That what are the benefits of equality and equity?
Yeah. I mean,
Gender-based, yeah.
A lot of people get confused with gender equality, meaning that women want to do the same thing as men. It's not always about that. It's always just we want to at least have the choice in doing what men are doing as well.
Exactly.
If we are at a workplace,
I can see he agrees with you very well. He's even smiling.
Let's say if we're both working the same job,
Okay.
and we can both potentially get a promotion, we should both be able to have the choice of being able to get that.
A promotion.
Equity comes in if, let's say, we are both working the same job, but let's say I'm pregnant and I have to go give birth, right? So is there rulings or anything in the system that would make me still eligible for that promotion or not?
Can I simplify
Because
that?
we-
all right,
Yeah.
please.
All right. You see, in the workspace, in the socio-economic space, why gender equality and equity is essential is because, it's basically looking for the round peg in the round hole instead of sex. Instead of saying this is a job for a man, if a woman can do it better, let her get in. If a man fits in better, let her get in, not on the bias of a sex that she's a male, she's a female. So if I have a job out there for someone to do, let the most qualified, who the cap fits, you come wear.
The most qualified.
The most qualified.
And
And there are areas naturally that women are a million times better than the men because of our middle, and there are areas where
that makes her happy. I can see the smile.
I mean,
it's
Yeah.
this is reality
but I
talk.
agree, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a reality talk. With the way we're made up, right? There are areas naturally women fit perfectly, 100% more than men.
Okay, let's have instances now. You run a company, you're CEO, you're busy, you can't put your hands on the wheel. You have to hire a driver. Will you go for a woman to drive you?
Let me give you a scenario. One of the company I first worked with in Nigeria
Okay.
is a marketing company actually, and you're meant to be given a car to go do your supplies of drugs and all of that. Those cars are purchased, registered in your name, but you can only take it when you pass your driving test. And our company employ both male and female as medical sales rep, right? So if you come in, you pass the driving test, regardless whether you're a male or female, you take your car to your territory you're covering for the company and start marketing. So if you're a male, you fail the driving test, the car will still be retained in the company headquarters while you go out there, carry a bag and samples of your drug and go to hospitals, clinic and detail. So if you follow what I just said, when you start looking for round pegs in the round holes, you will undermine sex.
Okay. Now, this is it now. We said giving shoe is sameness, equality. Giving shoe that fits is the equity. But now, don't you think being a driver is best fit for a man? Just my opinion. I would like you both to refer.
The way society had made us believe, right? You know, I've met a lady in America. She don't only drive a car. She drives a truck.
Of course, I've seen many on social media too.
Driving a car is more convenient, right? Because you can memorize the size of the car you're driving. When you're driving, the size of the car you're driving is your memory. So when you're turning, you don't need to look behind of you, regardless of the mirror. But for someone commercially, driving a truck commercially, and this is a job. Somebody offered her that job, right?
Yeah.
Because the person felt she qualified to do the job. My point is, if I want in an institution, in the work socio-economic space, if you want your job done, get who do it better. When you're limiting to driving, and when you say, don't you think a man feels better, with the way society have cultured it, yes. But naturally, see, I don't want to go in details of how areas where men are smarter than the women and area where men are. So if you tag driving as a man's job, it's what the society have made us believe. Because, for instance, if I'm an entertainer,
okay,
a huge celebrity, which on my way becoming,
of course,
the job of a driver is different from the job of a bodyguard. So if you're saying my driver should be fit enough to fight for me when they need a ride, the job of a bodyguard is different from the job of a driver.
So you mean a woman can never be a bodyguard? I've seen the governor in Nigeria, one of his guards is a female military.
I am driving home that I will repeat it 1,000,000 times if given the chance, that getting the round peg in the right hole undermines sex. If a woman can do my job better, she'll get the job. And now, if a man does it better, he gets it.
I want to go back to the driving thing because, as I mentioned, I grew up in Saudi Arabia. For years, as of about maybe a couple of years ago, women were not allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia. So drivers were only male, right? So as of the last couple of years, women were now allowed to drive, right? But what was surprising is the fact that not a lot of women were getting driver license. Some women preferred having a driver. They just didn't want to drive because what was important to them was having the choice. You had the choice to choose.
So the policy.
Do I want to know how to drive or do I not?
But are you saying look in Saudi now the
Yes.
policy is it open now to women?
Yes, of course.
Okay, but over time the policy has been it favors men to drive, women to sit back. Wow. Okay. Now it means governmental influence. Okay.
The Arab world is another world entirely, right? They have
So
a lot of
region.
So
There's a regional thought to these.
There's a lot of religious rigidity. There are things you cannot just do.
But it's kind of not true. You think that it is religious, but
I'm not
actually,
saying
Okay, hold on, please. Hold on, please, Mr. Clayton, Hajar.
Right?
All right, we're
not
still.
talking just
Hello,
about the driving
we are still on the conversation show. You can see it's getting hot. We will go on a short commercial break, and when we are back, we'll be having Hajar have a ground about the rigidity of religion. So, stay tuned, stay connected. Don't change the dial. We're back soon. Yo, welcome back on the show. Like, this is really, really getting interesting. I think Aja really have a ground. She really want to expatiate more on the rigidity based on territory in the Arab world. Yeah. Okay. Please, can you actually educate us on that?
I do agree that there is some rigidity in the Arab world, but I feel like a lot of people believe it's stemming from religion, where it doesn't. It's mostly from culture that most of this rigidity, or from these silly kind of rules that people see that Saudi Arabia or other nations have, stem from just governmental policies and not directly affiliated with religion at all. Same way in, let's say, in the Muslim nation in Nigeria, there's some aspects that are thought of as being religious, whereas it's just culture-based purely. And that's why I guess it is a good thing, because then if we are to talk about and tackle equality and equity, we can trace back just to culture and be like, this is where we nip it in the bud. Because we can't nip religion in the bud.
Yeah.
We can
Leaving religion out entirely to culture rudely. It's okay.
All right. I've seen numbers of people, right, in the mainstream terrestrial TVs, journalists, and social media advocating, supporting gender equality and equity. But this is my concern. Less people actually speaks on how to improve, on how to solve that problem, if it is identified as a problem in a society. People just keep talking. They identify the problems, they talked about it, but nothing to actually improve that. So here is my take. Regardless of the discrimination and the inequality globally in Africa, in gender equality and gender equity. Now, what are the possible ways to improve gender equity and equality in our society without limitations to Africa as a territory globally? What can be done to improve that?
Oh, that's
yeah.
Okay. As long as the human race coexists, the male gender, the female gender, that inequality has been established. So, you can literally solve an overage problem in a day, except you trace it down to the root, right?
Proportionally.
So it starts from reorienting the minds of the people from the grassroots. I mean, in our educational system, beginning to making the girl child, the boy child knows that you don't have limitation based on your sex.
Yeah.
Right? Telling a girl child, we grow up hearing what a man can do, a woman can do better. I don't know how true. I don't know how untrue, but the possibility is what I know.
But what about what a man can do, a woman can do? Why must you have better?
Exactly.
That is the inequality.
Yeah.
Okay, let me add that to that now.
I said
Okay.
I don't know how true.
Okay.
I don't know how untrue. What I know is possibility. It is possible that a woman can do better. It is possible a woman can do less. So it beckons on a woman who stands out to do better.
There is a subject.
But it's not to say what a man can do, a woman can do better. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how untrue it is. But I know it is possible.
When given the opportunity.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's
so
possible.
so when opportunity is not given, so how do
That's
how
better. Exactly.
That's the
The whole
inequality.
the independent
So if you
variable.
have that plain level feed, do you understand where, first of all, you ask how it can be improved?
Yeah.
One, I said the grassroots reorientation, right? The young mind, because a lot of us have it wrong already over time. Over time. You can't switch from knowing that, oh, I'm a man with a natural ego that has been imbued into you over time, overnight.
say please, sir, like say people talk about the inequality, the equity, and they actually ruled out him more in favor of women. Don't you think at times men are marginalized too? The equity should be on the both genders. But the advocacy, the people advocate more for like it's a woman thing. I think this is the both gender
that
thing.
is down, fear no fall, bro. The way the system has been configured already favors man, make man superior over a woman.
Please, can we
now?
Especially in the
If we're advocating and clamoring for
Okay.
equality, we're actually saying, let's give a level playing field.
You agree with that?
Of course, 100%.
But that is
Alright.
this is fact, right? This is not theory.
Can we have instances, social economic institutions, how it favors men and women?
how
For our
it favors
viewers,
men
yeah.
than women.
Yeah.
When you are in a workplace that
Oh.
where policies are created by men for men in favor of men.
Wow, how did that look like
Okay.
factors of productions?
But then at the same time, even with these rules and policies that are made for men, there's still nations that don't give, let's say, paternity leave. Why don't men get paternity leave? Why do women get, women get the 3 months off to go have the baby and everything, but why don't
In fact,
why don't
I'm
we-
really interested in that paternity leave. We deserve it.
No.
We want it.
This is where I've been avoiding that you've quietly brought me into, right?
Okay.
Now, women have paternity leave, like you said. Men don't have, right?
No, I said
They
women
have
it.
maternity,
but not
we don't
all
have paternity.
nations provide men with maternity leave. Paternity.
Paternity.
Even
You
though
get the maternity, yeah.
Policies
Wait,
are made.
wait.
Policies are made by men, but the reason why it's so is because it's been engraved in our mind that women are the ones that are supposed to be home for those months to care for the child. But some men also just want to be at home.
Okay,
and care
on
for the
this
child.
plane, let's be very realistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paternity, maternity. See, this is where we come to the disparity between the genders, right? Because man and woman, like I said earlier, there is no female race or man race. We have human race, right? That makes us equal naturally. But there are disparity. Man, biological composition, psychological composition, and otherwise is different from a woman. Even the makeup, the thought process, we're not the same. Now, women, maternity is tied to motherhood, mother and a child, right?
Yes.
If I'm correct.
Yes.
See, in the home, they even decree to see if you want to better understand an item, you go through the manner of the manufacturer. God made man, and he separates the role of a woman, the role of a man, naturally. But
Okay, I've been waiting for this.
When we come into the socio-economic space, gender equality, I 100% push it, support it. I will tell you, by the time Clean Trail Media grow to full scale, I will employ the round peg in the round hole. But that's not to say men should get maternity leave because women get maternity leave.
Paternity. Because there's fatherhood too. Father and child.
There's fatherhood. But the Mr. Father would have to provide naturally.
Okay.
But
So, here is my take.
Listen.
Okay.
Go ahead.
When a woman gives birth, the primary and the best food, the most nutritious food on planet Earth, colostrum, the early milk the woman produces, even in next generation, no man can produce that.
Yeah. And
The care, bonding and attachment a baby have with the mother, centuries to come, a man will not have it. Not like guest talking, bro.
So there's inequality
See,
in this narrative now.
that's why I said when we come to socio-economic space, 100% equality
It's achievable.
equity is
It's attainable.
and it should be advocated for. But there are reservations when man and woman are different. If I said these two things are different, I'm not saying one is less important, one is more important, but I'm only saying they are different. Man and woman are configured the same way.
I get that, and I understand what you're trying to say, but I do have to disagree with you on some aspects.
Okay.
Reason being is because there's a lot that you are not taking into consideration. You're
Like
going
what
through
and
this
what?
thinking, okay, naturally, I'm a medical student. I understand that the bond between a mother and a child needs to be there. There needs to be skin to skin. Same
Okay.
thing, there needs to be skin to skin between the father and the child too in order to build bond. If anything, a father should be spending more time with the child in order to build a bond because she already got 9 months. She got 9 months carrying them, okay?
Okay.
He didn't have that. So if he wants that from a paternity leave, he should be able to do that. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
But I do understand that yes, there's such things as maternal instincts, and it's easier for a mother to be able to bond with a child, and even religious-wise, mothers are to care more for the child, and fathers are to be able to go and fetch.
Yeah.
But this is not the case for every relationship. It isn't. In some relationships, women are the breadwinners, which is why I'm saying you are not taking that into consideration. There's things that you're not taking into consideration.
Okay.
What if he is a stay-at-home dad? What if that's what he is?
Stay-at-home dad. We are coming there.
Wait.
That's why you're like biologically
no.
there's biologically that. Okay, biologically, but there's circumstances.
This conversation is simple, right? We
Is
came
it?
here in the first. No, we got here in the first place because we were talking about leave. Leave is for people who are working, not stay-home dad. But let's make it simplified, right? See, whether you agree or disagree, the composition of a woman.
So men are marginalized in that scenario.
Exactly.
So we are not giving more time.
So it's like
Wow.
we're not giving opportunity for women in social, like economic, and we're not giving enough opportunities for men in the social.
In the social,
In social
like yeah, the home building. So no, no, we need to talk about this now.
Just
No, you add this to this now.
If you give a man 100 hours to manage a more complicated situation, like he said, in the social economic space that we're clamoring for equality and equity is 100% okay and absolute. But in our configuration, how we do some emotional and natural, instinctive duties.
But you just talked about configuration.
But wait.
Workplace as a
Please,
sector.
let me wrap this.
Men need more time.
No. Let me wrap this up. No, what I felt, what she was
Men have
saying.
100 of hours.
Okay.
They can't do better at obstetrics.
All right, Clinton.
That women are configured to do better.
Clinton, no.
Of course,
What I think.
men can't breastfeed or
No,
things like
what-
that.
what-
I'm saying.
You said what?
I said,
You said
of course,
men
men
can't.
breastfeed. You can't.
Which men?
Can't.
Men
Okay,
cannot
breastfeed.
breastfeed.
If you're talking about configuration,
But
and
what
how
she's
we are
saying,
biologically-
Exactly.
If I hear you well,
No, I'm cool now.
yeah, you're saying when it comes to the social economic space, now the same way women are marginalized, we're not given more chance and opportunity. Now it's reversely proportional to the way men are marginalized when it comes
I
to
wouldn't say
home affairs.
proportionally as
No,
in
no, that's
equally.
where- that's
So
of course,
we-
it's not proportional
Okay.
the same. But yes, there is that aspect.
Certain level of marginalization, but even if you give them more time, they will still not do better than women.
So, oh really?
That's
Okay, what
what it
about the social economic space? If we give women more opportunity and chance to, would they do better than being the head, the CEOs, the managers, at the
100%. There are
forefront?
several women all around the world have proven to manage organization effectively.
After they were
and
given
do better.
opportunity.
Yes.
Okay, but the men haven't
That's
been given
what,
this
that's,
opportunity
what,
yet.
that's what we're advocating for equality.
Hajar.
Both
If some
aspects.
women have those opportunities, they might do better.
And
right?
if men are given the opportunity in the household, they might do better.
No. That's configuration.
Gender inequality,
Don't go there.
gender
Except
equity.
for give men breast.
Configuration
So that
is
they will
only there
nurture
at home,
babies.
but then when you go to work, configuration leaves.
Is the
Okay, please, can we go into this now? Now, is fairness achievable? Now, we talked about it. From your opinion, of course, I've seen like you were not biased, but you were trying to justify in some areas that might
we
not
cannot
be.
undermine the makeup of a man and the makeup of a woman.
All right, but is fairness achievable in all ramification? Is fairness achievable?
Everywhere.
Because that's what equity
I
advocate
think
for.
we can work towards it, but I don't think 100% we'd be. What we live in an unfair world, we won't be able to achieve 100% of everything. But I feel like the right step is going into that direction of achieving equity and eventually equality.
So many women are wired to. They are configured rather. Let me pick from his word to sit back at home and actually claim their title of housewife. Okay, now looking into these at the full glance, do you think if those women were given opportunity to actually go out, get a career, a profession for themselves, would they do fine, or would they embrace such opportunity?
Every human, male or female, can go vie for this position, whatever. It starts re-educating the minds of the women that we actually have this reserved right. Because when you say equality, you're actually talking giving equal rights, equal opportunity to individuals involved.
Have you seen so many advert boards that says a sales girl is needed, a sales boy is needed? Why not a sales rep is needed?
Good.
And whoever fits in should get the
I
job.
gave you an example. I'm a medical sales rep for several years back in Nigeria with multiple companies, multinationals that I can mention him. But the point remains that who is the organizer of this company? Who is the CEO? What's his ideology? How is he raised? What's his mindset?
I will be so happy if we have more time on nanners. Like on a concluding
I
note
told
now.
you earlier.
So I want that to
I'm the
conclude
CEO of
too.
King's Royal Media.
Okay.
When it gets to that point when I need to employ people full time, I will look for the round peg in the round hole.
So you advocate for equality and equity in our society.
Bro, the round peg in the round hole. Who does it better? Who the caps fit? Let him wear it. So I shouldn't marginalize or limit a woman because she's a woman. I know she can deliver better for the organizational growth or for the growth of the nation. Women should come more incorporative into government and all institutions if they have what it takes to do more.
All right, yeah, thanks all for joining the show today. Hajar and Clinton, subscribe to our page on YouTube, Leaders in Check, and follow us on social media platforms. Just stay connected. We have top-notch informations and opinion discussions to bring in our show. This session is wonderful. Our appreciation to the DOPs. Thanks for staying put to the concept. And we'll see you on the other side, this same time next week, the Conversation Show with Adeoye Benjamin.